Hey, what's happening? Welcome back to Iron Man United. These are your hosts, Terrence Williams and
DJ Carpenter.
hey guys, today we want to talk to you about honoring your spouse. How do we value our spouses? So me and DJ are going to go back and forth and talk about valuing our spouses. DJ, I'm gonna let you kick it off. DJ, how do you value your spouse presence? How do you value her time?
Okay. Uh, so you're present. To value her, just making sure that when you greet her, that you're just showing love, and if it's in person when she comes through the door, or when you come through the door, make sure you give her, a hug, a kiss, ask her how the day was. Even like through the day, just sending a text message, just saying, hey, and make sure you're doing something separate. Like, my wife every morning when I talk to her, I say, good morning, beautiful. It's just something, a greeting that is different from anybody else.
That's right. Yeah.
To pull them different than everybody else, to let them know they're special.
Yep.
And just going through and throughout the day when you talk to her, just making sure that you let her know you're thinking about her. That she's on your mind all the time. So that's pretty much how I do, just to make sure I set her apart and let her know that I've been thinking about you all day.
Yeah.
And when you get home, I want to know how your day was. It ain't all about me.
Yep. All right. That's good. That's good. Hey, I'm like DJ. I got to give my wife that time and attention. The way I honor her presence. First thing in the morning. Before I leave the house, I always give my wife a kiss goodbye. Always kiss goodbye. Tell I love her. And hope she has a great day. And then while I'm at work, DJ can attest to this too. So we call our spouses while we're at work. What's so weird about it is, I worked in some places and guys don't really talk to their spouses in front of their coworkers. They don't really call and talk to them or take that time to see how they're doing throughout the day. And that's one of the things that I do. So I call my wife on my breaks. At least 2 out of the 3 breaks I get, I call my wife and we talk, see how things going, see how morning is going, and then I talk to her at lunch as well. So that's one of the things I do, to check in and make sure that I'm honoring my spouse's presence, and I spend time in doing that with her. Another way I acknowledge my wife may be through a text message. Even if you can't talk, send them a text. So if I don't get the chance to talk to her because things are maybe chaotic at work, I may send her a text, say, hey, I didn't get to talk to you, but I hope your day is going well. I look forward to talking to you, at the next break, So that's one way I honor my wife, and then when I'm home from work, when I get home from work, if she beats me home or I beat her home, hey, I always come up to her, I give her a kiss, I give her a hug, let her know that, hey, I'm here. I come looking for her. She upstairs, I come upstairs. I may walk in the door and say, honey, I just may be messing around, just goofing off, come up to her, and be feely touchy. I may come up to her and, peach on the butt or something, just to be messing around with her. But I let my wife know, that I love her, and I want to give her that attention, let her know that I'm interested in her, that I still love her, and I still appreciate her, and I value her time and presence in my life. So those are some of the ways that I, connect with my wife throughout the day and honor her presence in my life. What about the time, DJ? How do we give our wife attention? What's some of the ways you give your wife attention?
So doing that, and that's something I know. Me and Terrence were both very, busy, a lot active in ministry, and then along with work and other things that we got going on. But you got to make sure that we all got career goals. Yes. That we gotta tend to, and then we got ministry and things as we are men of God. So right. We got to make sure you keep God first above everything.
That's right.
But your wife comes second. So even though you're on your career and we need that to provide for our families and things, you got to also make sure that you're making enough time for your spouse.
Oh yeah.
And I've been guilty before of not being time wisely, I guess, and maybe putting more things on my plate than I can handle.
Yeah, yeah.
And sometimes my wife would be the one to, she catch the raw end
That's
on
right.
that.
Yep. On
So
the back burner.
you got to
Yeah,
make sure you
yeah.
don't do that because it affects them. It affects them a lot. Women are a lot more emotional than us.
That's right.
And it's different. It affects them a lot more than it affects us. We look at things as we just trying to get things done.
That's
and
right. You said that.
That's not how they see things. That's not as important to them.
That's right.
So they're very emotionally attached. So everything that you do, it affects them way more than we do. Even though we wasn't coming from a harsh place, it hurt them, and it makes them feel like you're putting distance in between you. There's no way of doing that, and it's just little things like that. And you could have changed just a few things. Took an extra hour out of your day to make sure you spent that time. And I've gotten a lot better at that, and I try to continue to grow and do that more, and just make sure that you make that extra time. I know Terrence can tell you a lot. He's actually helped me with my relationship and just coming to him and asking about the things. Me and Terrence, we talk about things, and we try to be there for each other.
Oh yeah.
And issues that the other one might know.
That's
Terrence has been married a little bit longer than me, so he he knows more about the battles and things. He's done been there most of them.
Yeah.
So you just need to make sure that you're putting that time. To have them date nights and to have both got kids and stuff. Sometimes you got to send them kids to mamaw so you got time with each other.
Say it, DJ.
So you just need to make sure you're making that time. Even if every day at the end of the day, we're all busy, but we need to make time that you just sitting there. You ain't on your phone or doing anything. On the laptop. That's me. That's my main thing because I'm always doing something. You got to do online for everything, for your job, for we're doing ministry now online, so but we got to make sure we put it down, the devices, and take that time to have that conversation, play a board game, play cards, just something that you do together. If it's watching a movie, whatever works for y'all, to make sure you spend that time with each other to make sure you're still connecting.
Oh yeah. Dang, DJ, you about said everything. You hardly leave me anything. Hey, listen, but no, DJ is absolutely
You the detail
right.
man, though. You the detail man, so you can explain it a little bit more in the small details.
No, man, you ain't hard on the details on that one. Hey, look, but spending time with my spouse, that's big. So way I spend time with my spouse is every other weekend. Me and my wife we alternating between date night in and date night outs. So it may be one weekend we stay in the house, to save a little money and have some peace and quiet, at home. And if the boys are home with us, then I make them a little spread upstairs so they can have the half of the house to themselves, and we have the bottom half to ourselves. So that's one way I spend time with my spouse is through date nights that DJ talked about. And then me and my wife we try to work out. We exercise together sometimes. If our schedule allows us to, we get out. We may go for a walk or may even ride our bikes together sometimes. So that's another way I spend time with my wife. And like DJ said, we may play a game. Something new that me and my wife started is we've got some conversations starter cards. And so we purchase these cards. They help us spark a conversation. So when we do have our date night outs or our date night in, we may strike up a conversation, by just drawing a card from the deck. And it just keeps things, spiced up. Yeah. Allows you to sometimes ask questions that, you normally wouldn't ask,
That's good.
So,
that's good.
And that's one way we start a conversation, because oftentimes we want to talk about work. And we want to talk about maybe somebody in the family, maybe talk about the kids, But when you're out on a date, you need, be into one another, and spice it up a little. Talk about some things that that you may be interested in or haven't really given much thought to, but you can talk about it and draw some similarities in your thoughts, and that draws you closer together. So that's one way, or some ways that I give my wife attention, and then I do things around the house for the wife, My wife wash the clothes, I'm folding the clothes, so that helps her out. You know, that helps me out. You know, keep my clothes clean too. You know, so I do those things. And then, you know, I just surprise my wife. So I know what my wife's favorite snacks are and things like that. So if I go to the gas station, you know, I may pick her up a bag of, she like them vinegar and salt chips. You know, not salt and vinegar. There's a difference. They got to be Tom's too. So vinegar and salt chips along with a Mountain Dew, a Mellow Yellow, or something like that. So, you know, pick her up something, you know, that she likes when I'm out. So those are some of the ways, you know, I give my wife attention. And time. Let's look at gratitude, DJ. How you show your wife that you thankful for her?
Yeah, that's you know, my wife, you know, she cooks most of the time. You know, she's a stay at home mom, so she cooks, and you know, I just make, you know, every time when I get my meal, you know, I tell her thank you, you know, and she's so sweet. It's things, you know, she makes my plate most of the time, and I mean that's just out of habit, just something she enjoys to do, you know, for me, as you know, and you know, just make sure you show them you're thankful. You know, you're thankful for that meal and the time that it took to prepare it, and you know, it's you know, getting the kids ready for school, you know, things of that, you know, that you can't be there because you're working or whatever the circumstances are. You know, that they took that extra time to do that, you know, so they pick up the slack where you can't, you know, and vice versa on other ways. But, you know, you make sure you tell them thankful for the things that they do.
That's right.
You know, make sure that they feel wanted, like you said before, and that, you know, that you're attracted to them and things of that. You know, you want to make sure, you know, you tell them how thankful for you are for the things that they do, and you know, the encouragement they give you and stuff. You know, my wife, she's very good at, you know, encouraging me, and
yes sir,
kind of, you know, she kind of makes me have a big head a little bit sometimes, because she'll be, you know, she be speaking things over me that I'm like, I don't know about all that, you know, but I appreciate you, you know, telling me I'm intelligent, or telling me, you know, I can do something.
That's right.
You know, so just making sure you know, you do that same thing for her. You know, for her good comings and the things that she does do for you. You know, you show that appreciation. You know, just show that you care about the things that she does, and you know, we do a lot of things, me and you know, and I know your spouse, you know, I've seen her, you know, so, you know, she's proud of you and things. You know, we got to make sure that we tell them on the things that they do that don't involve us, or that they're doing. I say, make sure you tell them, you know, you're proud of them for the things they do. If they do something good at work, if they got, you know, something that a good achievement, you know, got a raise, you got a new title at work or whatever, you know, we got to make sure that, you know, we uplift them as much as they uplift us.
Exactly.
And if they don't uplift you, you know, doing that to them, you know, that'll show, you know, that'll put that in them for them to uplift us.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know. What about you, T?
Man, good gracious, man. Man, I can't come after you. Man, I gotta go first, man. You always say everything, man. I'm gonna be like, hey, man, what I'm gonna say?
I'll start listing down to one or two things, man.
Gracious, man. I'm talking about you not that detailed, yo, bro. You being very detailed today, like talking about your boot. Hey, listen. Some of the ways I show my wife that I'm thankful for her is, number one, like DJ said, I tell my wife how thankful I am of her. She's my queen. She's my partner. You know, what me and my wife been able to achieve in life at such a young age, man, I could only be where I am because of my wife, and because, you know, other than God, my wife has been my partner in this journey. And man, I'm so grateful for her. That woman there is like no other, bro. She's my rock. She's my backbone. She's everything that I need. She's everything that I need. And so I tell her that. And sometimes she don't think that she is all that in a bag of chips, but she is, and I let her know too. And so just telling her and expressing to her that, and that's one thing that men, we struggle with. We struggle with expressing our feelings, our emotions. We don't want to be sentimental, but trust me, everybody loves some accolades and praise. So I give my wife her due praise. You know, I give my wife her praise. I thank her for the things that she do for not only me, but for my boys, for taking care of our family, for cooking, like DJ said. And my wife don't prepare no meal for me on a styrofoam plate or a paper plate. My wife bring out the fine china for me, you know, and I let her know I'm thankful for her, you know. And if my wife cook, I'm gonna come behind my wife and wash those dishes, load that dishwasher, but I'm gonna make sure I clean up if she cooked that meal. And that's the way I also show that I'm thankful for her, you know. So I just try to take a load off my wife. That's one way that I show that I'm thankful for my wife. So my wife, I know her gas tank almost on E, running low. Go fill up that car, you know. If like I said, if she wash clothes, I'm gonna come behind her and I'll fold those clothes. You know, so just trying to take a load off of her. If I know that she's working on a project at work, my wife learning Excel, how to be savvy in that, and I'm more savvy than her. So I come upstairs if I hear her say, "Man, babe, how do you do this?" So I come lend her a hand, and that's just one way I show my wife that I'm thankful for her, that I appreciate her. Um, and then when she tries something new that she hasn't done before, you know, taking that step of faith and that leap of faith, I'll let her know that, hey, I'm proud of you. Thank you for stepping outside your comfort zone, you know, because when you're better, then it makes me better. That make us better.
Right.
When you doing you, and you also doing it for me too. So I appreciate you, because whatever experience you gain, you get to share that with me. And I don't have to go out and do it with my wife doing it already. I get to experience firsthand. She become my teacher.
Yep.
So I let her know that I'm grateful for that. All right. Getting into affirming our spouse. DJ, how do you affirm your spouse? How do you build her up, man?
All right. So building her up, you know, mainly just like I said, you know, you want to make sure she's important. You know that she knows she's important to you, and that you're you know, you're still attracted to her after, you know, so many years. We've been married for a long time, both of us now, a good bit now, you know. And, you know, we need to make sure that, you know, we're keeping it fresh. So, you know, it's just like the good morning messages. I know that means a lot, you know, you know, you call it out, good morning, beautiful. You know, you letting her know what you think about her, you know, that you still think she's beautiful.
That's right.
As the day you said I do, you know.
That's it.
So, or even more so, you know.
Yes, sir.
And so you want to make sure you're doing that. Just making sure when you're in places, wherever you're at, you know, you're in front of other people.
Yes.
That you know, you hold her close. You you speak to her in a manner that, you know, shows that, you know, your attention's all on her at the time.
Yes.
And that, you know, she matters to you.
Oh man, you're saying a lot now.
And that's just, you know, you got to make sure of that, because, you know, like I say, man, them emotions run wild. And, you know, as they get older and things, you know, they emotions change. And, you know, stuff that didn't bother them or wasn't a big deal to them when they was, you know, we was young and in our 20s, you know, you get to the 30s and 40s, you know, it starts changing a little bit,
yes,
you
sir,
know.
buddy.
So then, you know, they need that extra gratification. You know, they need that extra, you know, letting them know that they're attractive and that you know, that they still the woman you won't come home to every day, you know?
Exactly.
So you got to make sure you're doing that. And what about you, T? What you got?
Hey, man, affirming my spouse, like y'all said, I let my wife know that I am attracted to her. You know, male, our hormones are always through the roof. We always ready. And I let my wife know that I'm always ready for her. So, hey, I carouse my spouse. You know, I show affection. Now, what I got to work on, what my spouse get on me about, is that public display, you know, of affection. That PDA, that's what they call it, okay? So I gotta work on that. Now, my wife, I don't want to kissy, lovey-dovey like we in high school, kissing all in my mouth, you know. So I'm working on that. But no, I do hold my wife's hand. I do open up the door for my wife. I drop my wife off at curbside while I go park the car sometimes, you know, and that's how, you know, that's how I treat her. But with affirming her, I let her know that she is enough. She's enough for me. She's enough for our family.
That's
you
it.
know,
she's enough. That's good word,
oftentimes,
man.
you know, my wife sometimes don't feel like she giving enough attention to not only me, to our boys. You know, and I say, babe, do you not know them boys running you all the time? You've given enough attention to them, but she always wants things to kind of be perfect, you know, and work out the way she has it in her mind. You know, sometimes my wife be pressuring me to have another kid so she can go make up for the things that she feel like she didn't do with our first two. You know, so I have to affirm her and let her know that she's more than enough for me. You know, more than what I asked for, more than what I bargained for, and I just thank God for. But I let my wife know that how much I'm appreciative of her. I build her up with the word of God. I let her know that, hey, that you and I, we are a team. We do this together. You are not by yourself. You are not alone. What you feel, I feel. If you hurting and in pain, then I'm right there with you, going through that pain with you. So I asked my wife, how she's doing, and so I can get to know what's going on in her mind, and through that I get to affirm her, letting her know that, hey, things gonna be okay. You strong, and I appreciate you. So that's one. Those are some of the ways that I affirm my wife. So DJ, next question is, how do you protect your wife's peace? How do you protect the peace?
Yeah, that kind of. I feel like I don't think I might have did that as well when I was younger. That kind of came with age, and I guess building, your relationship.
Yeah.
Or I did it differently, I would say, when I was younger than how I do now. But doing that is just, it kind of goes back to that affirming that they are, y'all two are together now,
yes.
So you're one.
Yeah.
So anywhere you go, you either getting both or none, or it's a no deal.
That's right. Absolutely.
You gotta, and that comes with family, that comes with friends, that comes with
parents. Come on with it. Yes, sir.
Anywhere you go, anything, you can't let people talk them down. And you gotta, as we are Christians, we try to keep it. You gotta kind of keep your cool on things, but it's okay that if somebody can't treat your spouse the way they need to be treated, it's okay to walk away.
Yeah, you darn right.
They, like I say, they come after God.
Yes,
once you make that I do, y'all became one, and it's together, and that's you got to protect them from others.
Oh yeah.
That's just like God saying, that you treat your spouse as the church, like as His church. So you want to protect them just like that. So you want to make sure that nobody harms them, of course, in any way, even if it's emotionally or if it's physically, of course. And so you just gotta pay attention to the details. I was bad about a lot of times people disrespecting her, and I didn't really see it like that as that. But if you really there's been a couple times, I'd sit back and like really pay attention to how people speak to her.
Yep.
That they wasn't speaking to me like that, right. So I didn't, or not in front of me, to the way that I understand it. So you got to pay attention to details, especially when it comes with like family and friends or something that you've had for a long time.
Yes.
But that you might be one that you kind of let things slide as you think it's in a joking manner and stuff, but they might not have took it that way.
Come on.
So you got to make sure that you put her feelings, and that's one thing. Just because something didn't bother you, don't mean it didn't bother her.
Yeah,
and at the end of the day, if it affected her in a negative way, then the situation needs to be handled.
That's
I mean,
right.
I ain't saying you got to go off the rails on something, but you need to make that line, and let somebody know they crossed it.
That's right.
And just let them know they can't be doing that again.
Amen.
And you make sure that wherever you go, that you just make her feel like she's a part of you, because she is now. Once you get married, she's a part of you. So whenever you're doing things and stuff, make sure everybody understands that's a package deal.
That's right.
When it's things you do in your church, if it's things you do job wise, sometimes you go and you make commitments and stuff. Hey, I gotta go on a long trip. If it's a week trip, something that might be a thing. You need to make sure you're talking to your spouse before you say, okay, I'm gonna go do that and I'm gonna be gone for days. That's you got to make sure that you let them know on any decision you make.
Yes.
At that point, man, don't just go making decisions without talking to them first.
That's right.
Let them know that their opinion matters, and that because everything you do, it affects them too.
Come on now.
So, what about you, T? What you got?
Boy, you awesome sauce today, boy. You are giving it to the world. Hey, listen. One way I protect my wife's peace, in dealing with like what DJ said, with family or what have you, people that's close to you. You want to make sure that you're always acting in one accord. Like you said, we're one. So you got to protect that. So when it comes to finances, me and my wife have joint finances, and that's so that we can see everything under one umbrella. And when we got married, we took on each other's debt. We paid off everything together. So when it comes to lending out money, that's a decision me and my wife made together. So I protect our peace. her piece when it comes to that, to make sure that we always align, because her money spends just as good as my money. It's one, so I protect the peace when it comes to that. Any decisions that need to be made, like DJ said, when it comes to taking trips, planning things with other people, I have to consult with my wife first. I want to make sure that she doesn't already have something planned for us, because my wife always got something on the calendar, always conjuring up something. Before I got on here today, I told DJ I went upstairs to get the laptop so we can do this video. My wife already had a cruise pulled up online, looking, for us to enjoy or look into for a family vacation. But that's one way I protect our peace, and when it comes to disrespect, I don't tolerate any disrespect. I don't tolerate any disrespect from anyone with regards to my wife. It could be my parent, it could be a friend. I don't care. We're not tolerating any disrespect, and that's one of my pet peeves in my house. I don't allow my children to disrespect my wife, and I don't disrespect my wife. And if I do, I gotta come make that thing right. So I don't do that. Another thing is, I never want to leave a question mark in my wife's head when it comes to me maybe conjugating with someone of the opposite sex. It can be, hey, somebody need a ride or what have you.
Yeah.
And that person's stranded at work, and hey, I've had to do that. I had to face that, but I got my wife on the phone. Hey, listen, such and such is with me right now. I'm taking him home. Car had a flat tire, whatever the case was, and let her know. You never want your wife, questioning what's going on.
That's right.
Don't allow the devil to tempt her in that way, So I try to cover those bases with my wife, and that's protecting her peace as well. When I'm getting off work and I said I'm coming home, but I need to swing by the gas station to gas up, or swing by the grocery store, but I already told her I'm coming home. I call my wife and let her know I'm making that pit stop along the way. Number one, for my safety, so that she knows that I'm okay. And then I took a detour, for whatever reason. Number two, again, so that she's not, growing insecure, because I done some things in my past that I'm not proud of. So I want to make sure that everything still stay stable in my household and in my relationship. So those are ways I protect my wife's peace. That's it, man. That's how we do it. That's how we roll. And like DJ said, we're one. We're one with our spouse. So everything that we do is always got to go through my spouse, and I always got to protect us as I protect her and protecting me. So we don't allow anyone to come in between our union. We've always rocked out together, covered each other. So, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
That's good, T. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, that's what he said. A lot of the guys I know, like in your younger days, you feel like, that you feel like you got to tell them everything and stuff. You feel like, like you can't be your own person. When you need to realize you ain't your own person no more. That's something you got to get over. Man, I ain't got to tell them everything. Yeah, you do.
Say it.
Okay. And it's the same way. I mean, it works both ways though. So you got to make sure that's going both ends. And that's just like I tell my wife every day. I usually tell her bye every day because she's usually up to. Or I wake her up and tell her bye. So she know I'm leaving, and I always at least shoot her a text message to let her know, hey, I made it to work.
Exactly.
Because man, them roads are crazy. People are crazy nowadays. So that's just showing them that you care, and showing that they care. Because if I go one day, we have a meeting. Sometimes they be switching it up, and we be having a meeting first thing. So it might be a little bit before I text her.
Oh yeah.
She's usually texting me by then. Hey, did you make it to work? So it shows that those things matter. And if
it matters.
You stop doing something, it changes things. So you need to make sure you're doing that thing. You need to be checking with each other. Y'all two are together, and you're supposed to be together for life.
Yes.
So between you and God, everything you do, anything you do in your faith, that's something y'all need to do. You need to pray together.
Yes.
Going to church together, doing things with your family, things with the kids and everything. You got to keep all that. Sometimes you have your separate times. You do things, but you need to make sure that they're a part of everything you do, and you're a part of the things they do, so that y'all always got that joint thing, where you're joined together. So we just need to make sure we keep doing that, and showing love to the spouse.
Showing love to the spouse. No greater love than this, that a man will lay down his life for the one that he loves. and he tells the man, he tells the man to honor his wife as Christ loves the church, to love his wife the same way.
And
He
you
said
know
he
he
died
loves.
for it. He died for it.
That's right.
Love him so much that he died for it. So men, we gotta die for it. We gotta die
That's
to our
right.
own selfish ambitions, desires. We gotta put aside our preferences, our own uh, our own selfishness, and consult with the wife. You know, it's not all about you. It's
That's
about
right.
her. We gotta give ourselves to our wives. You know, and the more we pour into them, the more they'll be able to pour into us. They're our
That's
helper.
right.
You know, they're our helper. That's how the Bible identifies them as our helper.
That's right.
And the Holy Spirit is a helper too. So the wife, man, she has every anointing that a man needs. So you have to honor that and cherish that in your relationships. But it's not all about you, you know. So be sure that you put your wife first. You know, that's your queen, that's your partner. Man, you guys supposed to have such a bond, you know, hey, that nothing comes in between it. You guys are unstoppable, you know, and whatever they're going through, make sure that you are there for them. Make sure that you are upholding them. You're supposed to be the support. Everything that hits your house should come through you. Everything that knocks at on y'all door, you should be the one that answer it. So whatever is going on in your household, man, you're responsible for the care of your wife, for the care of your family. So keep that in mind. Listen, guys, we thank you for tuning in to another episode of Iron Men United. We hope that you guys enjoyed this conversation, these questions that me and DJ asked each other. And until next time, peace.